This week's Daily Dose Learning has been sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Ilan Hakimian for Refuah Shelema of Kol Cholei Israel. So we're in Parashat Vaetchanan. Moshe is, of course, in the middle of the most famous speech of his life, one of the most famous speeches in all of history. And he finished off the end of last week's parasha. It's always important context. He was speaking about some of the different wars that they went at the end of the Midbar. And at the very end, after he starts giving out some of the land, he says, "V'Yehoshua tziveti ba'et hahi lemor, enecha haro'ot et kol asher asa Adonai Elohechem l'shnei hamelachim ha'ele, ken ya'aseh Adonai l'chol ha'mamlachot asher ata over shama." He says, I instructed Yehoshua, I told Yehoshua, who was going to be next, who was going to follow me, don't be afraid. Your eyes have seen the way Hashem helped us conquer Sichon and Og, two of the most powerful kings on this side of the Yarden. In the same way, Hashem will give you the strength to overcome all of your enemies as you go into Israel. Lo tira'um, do not fear them. Ki Adonai Elohechem hu anilcham lachem, because Hashem is the one who fights for you. And then Moshe says, Vaetchanan el Adonai ba'et hahi lemor. And I prayed. I begged. Yes, I got on the floor. I got on my knees. Vaetchanan, I supplicated to Hashem ba'et hahi lemor at that time. Adonai Elohim, Hashem, Master of the world. Ata hachilota leharot et avdecha, you've begun to show your servant et godlecha, your greatness. And they just won wars, it's Yad Mitzrayim, everything. Ve'et yadecha chazaka, and your mighty arm, asher mi'el b'shamayim va'aretz. You have shown who is God in the heavens and in the earth. Asher ya'asechem ma'asecha v'chiguradecha, that can do the great things that you do. Eberana, please. Moshe begs, let me cross. Let me see the beautiful land. Let me see the good land. Asher be'ever hayaden, which is on the other side of the Jordan River. Hahar hatov hazeh ve'alevanon, the good mountain, ve'alevanon. Chachamim say it means he was talking about the Beit HaMikdash, the mountain of Yerushalayim, and Levanon meaning the Beit HaMikdash. The reason, part of why I went through from the end of the parasha, he's already instructing Yehoshua. He's already giving the orders. Yehoshua is going to be the next leader. But he's still begging to go into Israel. And Chachamim taught us, Rashi brings, that Moshe said, I want to go in even if I'm not going to be the leader. It doesn't matter to me that I have to continue being the leader. If I cannot continue being the leader, it's okay. Let Yehoshua be the leader. That's fine. Let me be a regular person. Let me be an animal even. Let me be whatever it is. I just want to go see Israel. I want to be able to see the beautiful land which you are giving. I want to see. What does Moshe really want to see? He wants to see the final goal, the final destination of his journey and the promise to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. All of this is the final realization of the promise that Hashem made to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Part 1, I'm going to take them out of. Part 2, I'm going to bring them into Israel, and we are going to build Israel together. Moshe's whole dream was to see this happening. And he said, it doesn't matter to me that I should be the one leading everybody or not. It doesn't matter, even though I've been doing this for 40 years. But as a regular person, let me go in. But Vayit'aber Adonai bi lema'anchem. Hashem got angry at me on your account, on account of the Jewish people. Velo shama elai, he didn't listen to me. Lema'anchem, Moshe says on your account, on the account of Am Yisrael. It sounds like he's pointing fingers at Am Yisrael a little bit. We always learn that what's the reason Moshe didn't go? Because of the sin of the rock. Hashem, at the time that Moshe hit the rock, at that time, Hashem, we spoke about in detail. Hashem told Moshe, the reason is you hit the rock, that's why you're not going in. You see that it wasn't so simple that it was just that.
Maybe he's blaming his frustration that led to his anger on them?
It could be. But you see that there's an element of either Am Yisrael, there's different ways of looking at it. Either they didn't deserve it for Moshe to go in, they didn't have the zechut for Moshe to go in. It could be that part of it was Am Yisrael. Moshe says, because of you. Moshe says, because of you I was punished.
It's also it's kind of like a lesson of how a leader or something is accountable for his community, right? On a higher level.
Chachamim said that the leaders of a community come in the zechut of the community. When the community has the zechut, they have great leaders. When a community doesn't have a zechut, they are not able to have great leaders. That's what Chachamim told us. The leaders.
How old is Yeshua here? 100?
How old is Yehoshua over here? I don't know. Moshe is 120 years old. I do not know off the top of my head. I could look into it if there's an answer. But off the top of my head, I don't know. But Yehoshua also, I think he lived to the same, if I'm not mistaken, I think he lived eventually to the same age as Moshe Rabbeinu. I think he also lived to the age of 120. How old he was over here, I don't remember off the top of my head. But Yehoshua, you should know, was one of the most successful leaders of Am Yisrael. There are many leaders who were not successful. Right? Yehoshua was, in some ways, even more than Moshe Rabbeinu. He didn't have, in his time, the people always complaining and the people always coming back and being angry at God and rebelling. And none of that happened at the time of Yehoshua. Yehoshua, the Jewish people were united, they were together, they followed the ways of Torah, they followed God, they followed Hashem, Yehoshua was one of the most, he had a few difficult hurdles in the beginning that he had to guide the nation through, but he did a fantastic job as a leader. He was one of the most successful that we ever had. And who did he get it from? Of course he got it from Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? Tell you about that Moshe Rabbeinu was the sun. Chachamim say Yehoshua was the moon. Right? He reflects all the light of Moshe Rabbeinu. And as long as he reflects the light of Moshe Rabbeinu, he shines. Anyhow, because of you, Vayomer Adonai Elai Ravlach. Hashem said, enough tefillah. Al Tosef Daber Elai Od Badavar Zed, do not continue speaking to me. About this matter, do not continue speaking to me. There are some who interpret that if Moshe would have continued, I don't know if it's true, but if Moshe would have continued, Hashem would have said yes. Hashem had to tell him, no, stop. Ravlach, enough. Tosef daber elai. But there's also, Rashi brings one interpretation of Ravlach. Ravlach means enough for you. Stop. So Rashi brings one way of reading it. Ravlach means enough for you, meaning, Moshe, don't worry, you have enough in Olam Haba. You don't need this. Your Olam Haba is set already. You have already accomplished your mission. You already accomplished what you have to do. You don't have to continue to go into Israel. It's Ravlach, a very beautiful interpretation. Ale Rosh HaPisga, go up to the mountain. Sa enecha yama v'tzapona v'temano v'mezracha. Look all around, north, south, east, west. Re'eh be'enecha, see. That one Hashem allowed him, that part. You can see from a distance. You're not going to cross the river. V'tzavet Yehoshua, continue to instruct Yehoshua. Chazekeu ametzeu, give him strength. And Moshe uses these words later when we read Parashat Vaetchanan. When Moshe gives him, he says to him, Chazak ve'ematz. Use the word Chazekeu ametzeu, the same words Hashem gave him. Ki hu ya'avor, he is going to cross with the nation. He will fulfill the vision. He will inherit the Jewish people of their land. And we remained in the valley. Now, we get to a very important point. And now Am Yisrael, Shema el HaChukim el HaMishpatim, as Moshe continues and will continue to do through this speech. Listen to the commandments. Obey Hashem's ordinances. Asher Anochim elamed etchem la'asot, which I am teaching you. Leman tichyu, in order so that you should live. Follow the Torah in order so that you should live. Uvatem birishtem et haaretz, so that you will be able to inherit the land of Israel. Asher Adonai Elohei avodechem noten lachem, that Hashem your God is giving to you. As long as you're holding the Torah, as long as you're holding the values which we have given you in the Torah, Hashem will give you the zechut to inherit Israel. Lo tosifu, foundational principle. Lo tosifu al hadavar asher anochi mitzaverchem. Don't add anything to the Torah. V'lo tigreu mimenu, and do not subtract any mitzvah from the Torah. Do not add any mitzvah. Do not subtract. Why do not add and do not subtract? The Torah is perfect as it is. There's a famous mashal, Magid Midovna. He said a very famous story. He asked the question, he says, I understand why do not subtract. Don't take away from the Torah. Well, what's wrong with adding? Why can't I add? Why can't I do more? Let me do more. Hashem asked me to do X, let me do more of it. So he said, very shirin, very, very cute, sweet mashal. Magid Midovna, he says that one time, he says there was a guy, he is at home one day and his friend comes knocking on his door. And his friend says to him, he says, my good friend, Azizam, says, I really need a favor from you. He says, we ran out of spoons at home and power is off, whatever it is, we're not able to wash our spoons. There's no water. Can I borrow a spoon from you, please? He says, sure, okay. Lends him a spoon. The next day, he comes back with 2 spoons. He gives him 2 spoons. He says, He says, I lent you 1 spoon. He says, Mazal Tov, your spoon had a baby boy. You have 2 spoons. Okay, he takes a spoon. Next day he comes over, he says, we ran out of forks at home. He says, can you lend me a fork? He says, okay. He gives him a spoon. Next day his friend comes back, 2 forks. He says, why are there 2 forks? Mazal Tov, your fork had a baby boy. He says, okay, fine, no problem. The next week, his friend comes over and he says, I need your menorah. You have an expensive menorah. He says, if I can borrow it at home in order to use it for a light. He says, sure, no problem. V'chavod, I hope it has twins. Next day, he doesn't come back. The day after, he doesn't come back. What's going on? He goes to his friend's house and he says, what happened with the menorah? How's my menorah doing? He says, I have sad news. Baruch Dayana Emet, the menorah died. He says, what do you mean? He says, menorahs don't die. They don't die and they don't live. And he says, listen, if you believe that a spoon and a fork can give birth, he says that the menorah can die also. So, he says, once you start adding to the Torah, once you start saying the Torah can give birth, you can also subtract from the Torah. Once you're saying it's in my hands and I'm going to manipulate however I want, even if you're adding, you're going to subtract also. To understand, Hashem gave us the Torah perfect. The way it is, the Torah is perfect. Don't add and don't subtract, you will have the blessings of Hashem. You don't add and you don't subtract, you follow exactly as it says. Don't add to it. And even more, there are many times people, they add to the Torah, but they're not even keeping the Torah. There's one thing that you're keeping the Torah and then you add to it. There's something that people start taking extra things on themselves, which are not in the Torah, but they are not keeping Hashem's words themselves. So we have to always understand the way the Torah Hashem gave it to us is perfect. We don't have to add to it, we don't have to subtract it. In the zechut of following the Torah as Hashem gave it to us, Hashem will bless all of our families and all our communities, and B'ezrat Hashem we'll have the zechut to inherit the land of Israel, as
Amen.
Hashem promised us in the Torah.